Welcome back to the place where we deliver very deep knowledge and truths and understanding. So I'm going to get right into this video today, guys, and like I usually do. And I'm going to explain why for the majority of people who are fast to jump into relationships are the ones that are lost. And this doesn't go for everybody, but it goes for the majority of people who are so quick to jump from relationship to relationship to relationship. It's those types of people, because you can land on the right one. You can. And it's the people that you see, like I said, jumping from to guy to guy to guy, or girl to girl to girl. And it just never works. It's never enough for any of these people, because these people are looking for something that they have not found in themselves. And if you're a young person, chances are you had some experiences when you were really young, like myself. But you came to the conclusion at about the age of, let's say, 18, 19, 20, 21, right around that age range, that jumping into these relationships at this time is not the best idea unless you find the actual one, which is rare, especially nowadays. It was more normal in the era we used to live in before the one we're currently in now, because of the effect of social media, how many options there is right in front of us. People ain't so quick to just jump on something, and honestly, I think that's actually smart. I don't think anybody should be quick to jump on something. But people picked a lot faster because you didn't have access to everybody like we do today. So if you see someone that you've seen a good option somewhere in person, before there were cell phones, before social media, before all these things, you're quick to jump on that person. You're quick to go through with that person to probably get married, have kids, do this, do that. But now today, it takes a lot for something like that to happen, which it actually should, if you think about it. I don't think anybody should be quick to jump into these relationships, especially young, unless you do find the one, because it does happen. But like I said, for the most part, you should focus on yourself. You should focus on your growth, because the more you grow, the more you see how a lot of things are. You get to know yourself. You're not going to screw people over, because sometimes that can happen as well. Sometimes you could have went through this process where you really grew as a person. You really honed in on yourself. You gained a lot of confidence. You kind of changed as a person in a good way. And the idea of a person that you wanted also changed. So that can save you from being in a divorce. That's why you should focus on yourself. People in the generation that lived before us, they focused a lot more on themselves, guys. That's what they did. Because we didn't have all these distractions that is out there today. Makes sense, right? So these people, all they knew was hard work. So they were forced to grow a lot quicker. In today's world, so many one of us were more so silver spooned than our parents or grandparents were. It's just the way it is, because they worked real hard for us, for their kids they provided. When it used to be like parents never had enough to really provide, so they had to get their own kids and their own children to work real hard at a young age. But not us, for the most part. I'm not saying we didn't work hard, we didn't learn skills, we didn't work with our fathers, our uncles, things like this. But their work ethic and the way they did things was next level, let's be honest. So I believe these are This is the reason why things are the way they are, and we just got to adjust to the way it is. And like I said, if you were committed to your growth at the age of like 18, 19, 20, 21, and through your 20s, instead of being blind, instead of focusing on women or women focusing on men, all through your 20s, instead of growing as a person, if you focus on your growth, now you're in a much better position to get the right person a lot quicker. Whereas if you focused on dating and all this stuff at a young age, you didn't take the time to grow. You didn't get to know who you were because you were too busy trying to find someone with these dreamy eyes that you could look into and get lost in. So you feel less lost, instead of focusing on your damn self. You want to clap those cheeks, bro. You want to clap them cheeks. That's what you want to do. But instead, you should have focused on growth. You see, I got to a certain age where I stopped giving an F about all those things because, you know, it's easy to get brought up into it, to be told it's a cool thing to do. Get with all these hot girls, brother. Do this, do that, date this girl at this age. And you know what? I did all those things. And it's just not the answer. Because even these women, these young women, they don't even know what they're doing. You don't even fully know what you're doing. Because these are young kids. Just all in the lust stages. You don't really know what's going on. It's a tough age to be in for a lot of people. It is. There was nothing easy about the ages of let's say 18 to 24ish. That's a very tough age range for a lot of people, including myself. I feel I hit my stride at about 25. As far as everything goes. I was still such a hard worker in those ages of in between 18 and 24, but it was some very tough years. Because I did the right things. That's why it was tough. For a lot of people, it's not that tough. Because they're focused on dating. They're focused on all these things. When they get a little bit older, now they have to take all the time that we took to grow in between 18 and 24, and now they're doing that when they're a lot older. So we're like full-grown adults by the time we're 25. We know exactly what we're doing by the time we're 25. And they're just starting to get a grip on this at 26, 27, 28 in their later 20s. When we did the right things at a younger age, we got our shit together at a younger age. And I think everybody should take that route because you're going to mess up a lot of things if you don't. It's just the way it goes. You're going to go through a lot of tougher years. And I feel a lot of people are doing that because they're putting the hard things in the back burner. They know they got to grow. They know they got to evolve. They know they got to do these things, but they're not doing them. They're just not doing them. But they know they have to at some point. So you did all the things you had to do. You never got to do that again because you already know. Doesn't mean you stop growing. You're going to continue to grow. But you're so much further ahead than everybody else. Because they wasted those years being promiscuous. Doing crazy things. And that stuff right there can mess up your whole life. It really can. I think the smartest thing anybody can do is get your shit together ASAP. Because now you're going to be on top. You're going to be on top spiritually. You're going to be on top of your finances. You're going to be on top of everything at such a young age. You're going to have it all together at such a young age. You continue to learn after that and grow and evolve and have your fun and do whatever you want to do. And your time is more yours. You're probably more independent. You're probably more everything. Because you did the right things when they did all the wrong things because they thought it was the right thing to do because they were being told by everybody else that's what you should do. Whenever I kind of cut a tie, at about the age of 18, 19, I cut that tie, caring what everybody else thought instead of doing my own thing. Like a steaming bull. That's how I turned out to be at the age of like 19. Just like a steaming bull. Knowing the truth and capitalizing. That's what I did. And I'm still a steaming bull to this day. But a very wise one. With a good head on my shoulders. That can hone that aggression. I can hone in on everything. I know who I am. I know what I can do. And if you're the dumbass to overlook me, that's on you. Because some people want to look at you and judge right away and think, yeah, that's who he is or that's who she is. Wrong. Wrong. But this is just how it goes. I think the majority of successful people are career focused at a very young age. Professional athletes, they missed out on all those party years for the most part. Doesn't mean they never party. They probably do at least a couple times a year. 100%. They really do. But they're very focused instead of just kind of being focused in school, just kind of being focused here, just kind of being focused there, just kind of barely getting by. Partying every single weekend. Professional athletes, people that are really doing it out there. They're barely partying because they are focused on their goals. They have goals and dreams and aspirations way bigger than a damn party. That's the separator. Because when you party, it doesn't just mess up one day. You're not just unproductive for one day. You're unproductive on Sunday. Monday and Tuesday is not the same. At about Wednesday, you might start to feel a little bit normal again, depending on how much you drank. It doesn't mean you can't function at all. You're just not going to be at your A+ performance. Because alcohol, drugs, all these things is going to mess you up. Psychologically and physically. So you got to stay away from those things. I might consume alcohol like 1 to 5 times a year. More so about 1 to 3 times a year. And I don't drink a lot. I'll have a glass of wine. I'll have half a bottle of wine. I don't drink hard liquor. I might have a beer or 2. You know. Because you got to treat yourself sometimes. You got to celebrate something sometimes. But, you know, you can definitely celebrate a little more. Kick the feet back up a little bit more when you're older. When you got it all together. Because you earned it. Because you worked your tail off to achieve the things you achieved. Instead of people focusing on relationships. On the parties. On pointless things. Those are the easy things. It's easy to do that. It'd be easy for me to answer to all women that try to hit me up. To reach out to so many other girls that want my attention but are too scared to reach out to me first. I just don't talk to people when it's unnecessary. It's just unnecessary. You know what I mean? You gotta stay patient. Only save room in your life for the people who you're really going to value and who is really going to value you, not use you. It's a waste of time. Because when you're in that stage in life, in that young stage, you're going to come across a lot of friends, a lot of people that's just going to use you. They don't really care about you the way you thought. Your connection was never what you thought. It was just temporary for them to be entertained. until they could get what they really want, and then they show their true colors. So it's all things like this. You just got to be smart overall. And do what you got to do. Do what you know you got to do. You got to be selfish in your own way. Like I said, I don't recommend any of you guys do pointless things. Save room for the people who really matter. Your loved ones, your real friends, your real family, if you even got any. Things like this, your real spouse, not some ratchet head case, some promiscuous lizard. So there's lots of those running around. I could care less. You do nothing for me. You bring me zero value. I could bring everything to the table for you if I wanted to. But you can't bring me anything. Which is why you got to stay patient when it comes to relationships, when it comes to your connections, and people like this. And like I said, guys, and I'll end it with this. Majority of people who are young, who are rushing into relationship after relationship after relationship, are the most lost. And we've all been there when we were really young, but there's people still doing that, carrying into their 20s, into their 30s, their late 20s, their late 30s, even 50s, 40s, things like this. I cut that tie when I was a teenager. It's called being naturally smart and switched on. Not to brag, but it's what I felt I always was. When I see truth, I don't shy away from that. And you guys can tell that about me. I know for a fact. I make it very clear. I don't shy away from the truth. There could be a girl that I really like that I'm talking to. When I see red flags, I'll even warn this girl, if you mess this up, it's done. Don't mess this up. She shows red flags. She does things she shouldn't have done. I definitely don't reward bad behavior. It's done, baby girl. It's done. See you later. Really no explanation. See ya. Doesn't bother me none. Because you can be replaced. But can you replace me? But can you replace me? And if you can, is it going to be the same? Is it going to be better? Very highly unlikely. Because if it was the same value or better, even if you did that, I guarantee you're not going to keep it for 2 seconds. Because nobody's going to put up with any BS that is high value, that actually knows who they are, what they want, what's going on, and things like that. So, don't be the dummy to rush into relationships. You can test things out with certain people. You see someone, they catch your interest, you can dip into it. Don't rush in. Don't be so quick to actually be in a relationship with that person. If you see potential, talk to one person at a time. A lot of people in today's age, they like to keep their options open. Talk to 10, 15 different girls. Talk to 10, 15 different guys. If something don't work out with this guy, get somebody else. The truth about that is, you are codependent as F. You're very codependent. And it's hilarious because these are the same type of women, for example, that will preach, I don't need a man. But yet, you're talking to 10, 15, 20, 25 different dudes. When you stop talking to one, there's another one right there. These are the same women that treat these guys like shit. And she does not value any of them. She plays around with all of them. That's how they roll. These women get these guys hooked. And then she can cut them off at any time, and she knows at any time she can go back to this guy and continue the rotation. That's how people do things today. And they're the same type of people that preach, oh, I don't need a man. How hilarious is that? You can't get any worse of a female than that. That is the worst you can get. You got a codependent woman. You got a liar. You got a promiscuous woman. Like every single thing that's negative about a woman is in a type of woman just like that. That's the worst of the worst. Tell me you have insecurities without telling me you have insecurities. That's all I gotta say. I'm out.